I mean, I feel like what kind of got me more of a believer in it and interested in it is, I don't know, at a certain point in my like late 30s, and I'm 43, I kind of took an inventory of all the women I had dated, like any relationship that was significant, not just like a fling, but and I plotted their birthdays and which relationships were good, which ones were bad, which ones were
Mhm.
dramatic and whatnot. And I saw like such a crazy pattern because I'm a Gemini, and I think that's what a water or air sign, right? And it's like I pretty much had only relationships with like other Geminis. What's the February? No,
Pisces?
the one just before that, Aquarius. Aquarius.
Aquarius, yeah.
Lots of really good relationships with Aquarius, Gemini, and then some horrible relationships with Sagittarius, like November, right? And then
Uh-huh.
like
Yeah.
basically, and then so it's like very and all I felt like the personality styles of all of the women were extremely similar when they were born within
Yeah.
that zodiac sign. So I was like,
Mhm.
the only way I see myself having a successful relationship is with another Gemini or an Aquarius. Turns out my wife's an Aquarius,
Yeah.
like so I get along really well with my sister. One's a Gemini, one's an Aquarius, and then like, sometimes me and my mom clash a lot. She's a Cancer.
Mhm.
All my relationships I've had with other Cancers is like, and
Yeah.
obviously my mom and I love her to death and we have a great relationship, but we argue and it's like, we kind of like give
Mhm.
it to each other, and that my relationships with other Cancers has been like that.
Yeah, it's like, where is this coming
Right.
from, you know?
And so I was like, there's just too many. I had a lot of data points because I had done a ton of dating. And, I was like, there's just no way that that's not a thing. So that's, obviously that's my opinion, but I found it to be very useful and helpful. And when I met my wife, and I'm like, oh, you're an Aquarius, okay, and like I was like, you're a Gemini, and it was just such a fun conversation, and without having that sort of like tool in my toolkit to relate to people about this stuff, it's like why wouldn't you learn about it if you're a guy? Like if you're trying to improve your success with dating and relationships, you just have to be such a fuddy-duddy idiot to be like, no, it's stupid, or it's there's no scientific backing behind it. It's like, dude, shut up. Like, do you want to actually have a good time, or do you want to be
Yeah.
like right about it? So
No, exactly, and it's really cool that you came to that realization on your own because a lot of my clients, they come to me and they don't even realize they're in the same cycles over and over, and a lot of it is because of astrology, like, they keep dating the same, like, zodiac sign, and they keep running into the same problem, and I'm like, "You need to break out of that cycle, try something new, go out with someone that was born in September instead,"
right,
like, and it really does make a big difference. You meet people that have a totally different communication style, love language. Like a lot of it is tied into zodiac signs. And you get stuck in the same patterns because that's what you're attracted to the most when you're kind of like unhealed. And when you start to mature and realize that you need something more is when you break out of that cycle and like actually find the perfect person for you,
yeah, yeah. And I think there's, like you said, there's just so much amazing stuff to learn from that. So
Mhm.